Hey all, good morning and welcome to ShareTreck. This is the morning show and I'm your host Raj here. Uh, this is the 3rd of August 2022. We have a lot of interesting genomic sector results coming up today. We'll check that out during the end of the live stream. At this point of time, I want to go over the results we got yesterday and also the major news for the day that's likely to impact the market. And then we'll have a quick look at the pre-market price action for all our stocks. With that said, let's get started. It was a nice session yesterday on the live stream. So thanks for joining me, those of you who did. It was good, but today we have a lot of interesting things going on. First of all, let me do a quick recap of the results that came in yesterday for the shares that we were watching. It's a very positive overall result in my opinion, with a few disappointments here and there. The first good news is that CVS reported excellent Q2 results and better Q3 outlook. That sounds really good for the entire healthcare sector, and they came in with the earnings per share of $2.40 versus an expectation of 2.17. So you can see they have exceeded the expectation in the EPS in a spectacular manner. In terms of revenue also, they came in at 80.64 billion versus 76.37 billion. That was the street expectation. Again, a very strong beat on the revenue as well. So this seems to let me think that today we might see the healthcare sector getting a bit of a boost, and that could rub off a little bit on our genomic companies as well. With the revised optimistic outlook, CVS now expects to have adjusted earnings per share for the full year of 2022 to come in somewhere between $8.40 and $8.60. So this is a upgrade in their estimate. So they have a very optimistic view of the upcoming quarters. So that gives a positive impetus to the market. Next, let us look at PayPal. That's another company that I have in my portfolio, which has been languishing for a while. I had done a lot of dollar cost averaging until I stopped. I was very keen to see what's happening with PayPal, and I was not disappointed. The PayPal ended up beating the expectations for Q2 and announced a 15 billion share buyback program on the back of revenue growth of approximately 9% year over year, with active users climbing 6% year over year. I was more worried about the active users. I didn't expect them to climb. In fact, I was expecting that could be a bit of a decline with all different kinds of offerings out there, buy now, pay later, and all those things. So I think I'm really happy with both the revenue growth as well as increase in the active users. Unfortunately, they reported a 341 million net loss compared to 1.18 billion profit for the same period a year earlier. However, the loss when compared to the size of the company, I think it is something that we can forego for the time being as they adjust to the new environment. When we look at their earnings, the earnings came in at 93 cents per share versus around 86 cents per share expected by the street. So it's a very solid earnings beat. Revenue came in at 6.81 billion versus expectation of 6.79 billion, a marginal increase there, but still it has exceeded the street expectations. So because of both these things, post-market yesterday, PayPal shares were up 10% when I last checked them. I hope that the same enthusiasm persists today, this morning, and into the open. We'll check that out when we look at the TradingView platform later on in the day. And I think the buyback announced by PayPal is a really good move. And given the low share prices of PayPal, I think it's going to help the share prices, and it's the right time for the company to reduce the share dilution and give back shareholder value. All good moves. Now, next, let's look at SoFi, another company which I had invested in at one point of time, but I'm still interested at looking in. SoFi bet both on top and bottom line, and I'm expecting it to do very well in the market today. Now, when we were looking at two other results, one was for Airbnb and Starbucks. I mentioned yesterday that I'm looking at them mainly because I want to gauge the mobility of people and people getting back to work and all those things. But I have mixed results out there. Airbnb disappointed, but Starbucks did better than expected. So getting a read on post-COVID mobility of the workforce and post-COVID movement of tourists and other things is getting a bit muddled by looking at these two. But overall, I think the economy is improving. People are getting used to the COVID scenario, and it's no longer something that's going to shut down the entire economy. So to that extent, I'm thankful. Now let's talk about AMD. I was very curious what AMD would report, mainly because AMD crossed the market cap of Intel and became more valuable than Intel. And I was thinking that there should be something special in AMD, and that will come out in the Q2 reports. True to form, AMD did report really good numbers and beat expectations in Q2, but they issued a weaker than anticipated Q3 outlook. And that's what got them in the market, and they were pushed down a little bit. EPS came in at $1.05 adjusted versus 1.03 that was expected by the analysts. And revenue came in at 6.55 billion, narrowly beating the 6.53 billion expected. And AMD stocks were down 5% post-market as punishment for weaker Q3 outlook. So that's how all of these earnings from yesterday landed up with the market. Futures that I checked and pre-market I checked before starting this video were all looking green in the 0.4% and 0.40% and 0.50% range, which is pretty decent in my opinion. And I hope that holds on. And that makes me think that the Taiwan visit did not result in too much of damage. And Nancy Pelosi has left from Taiwan. She met the premier of Taiwan despite the Chinese objections. So nothing bad came out of it, and I think we should be thankful for that. With that said, James Bullard, St. Louis Fed president, resurfaced in another interview and mentioned that according to him, inflation in Q2 came stronger than he expected, and he believes future rate hikes will be needed to tame inflation. And he also believes a recession can still be avoided. So I hope this doesn't take the market down, because this can be a precursor to a slightly hawkish Fed. We'll watch the space and see how things turn out. Now on to international news in UK, where inflation has hit 9.4% in June, according to their latest reports, which represents a 40-year high for inflation in UK, has demanded that the Bank of England do something about it. So Bank of England is likely to raise the interest rate by 50 basis points, and that will take their overall interest rate to 1.75%, which is still pretty low in my opinion, considered to 9.4% inflation. This can in a way help cool the dollar index, because some funds can move back into the British pounds. And for some reason, the Bank of England feels that a further 25 basis point hike in September can help them to stop tightening. In other words, we'll fall from 9.4% inflation right now to normal levels in September, and I'll peg normal to be around 2 to 2.5% inflation. I think the UK economy is complicated due to Brexit, and this may end up being a wishful thinking in my opinion. But what do I know, right? I don't have access to all the data that Central Bank of England has. But at a bird's eye view, when I look at the situation, especially they need to resolve the situation that comes up with Northern Ireland, which is part of UK and therefore out of Euro, and Republic of Ireland, which has got totally integrated with the European Union and is still in the European Union, and it messes up the Good Friday Agreement. So those issues are still to be sorted out. So Boris Johnson came and he did a dog's breakfast of everything. So whoever is the next prime minister has a lot of hard work in their hands, and that particular piece of the puzzle muddies the inflation picture further, because imports into Britain can become much more difficult due to that. Due to the Brexit situation that they have. With that said, I think it's time for us to go and have a look at what's happening pre-market action. Let's go to the TradingView platform now. So here we are in our TradingView platform looking at Nasdaq futures. Nasdaq futures are positive, still standing about 12,908, which is our support level, and it has been straggling around this support level for the last 3 days, consolidating. And I would expect that to jump up further today, because we still have room in the RSI for us being overbought, and MACD is bullish. Everything is looking good. Pre-market, we are up 0.38%. So in my books, I think that looks positive and bullish. Let us go to look at the indicators. US oil is the first one that I would look at. US oil has broken up beyond the 95.08 line of resistance that we had. That doesn't look good, but still we have resistance from the 200-day exponential moving average and the 9-day both joined together. So it's a very strong resistance. And the MACD is not that strong, even though it is bullish, and momentum is below average. So I'm expecting that during the rest of the day, this should go back down, and we may potentially end up with a candle similar to what we had yesterday by the end of the day. This is my expectation. QQQ is up 0.46% after being down 0.30% yesterday. So we are in a net gain. And I think we still have the support of the 100-day exponential moving average. MACD is also bullish. I'm thinking that we may have a positive opening today for QQQ. If you look at SPY, it's up 0.48% after losing 0.66% yesterday. It's trying to regain some lost ground, and it's back into yesterday's trading range. So I think the MACD is looking good, but momentum still has to improve. Pre-market we are up 0.48, so I'm thinking there could be a green open for SPY. Russell index was down -10% yesterday, and it's up today 0.68%. So really smart recovery. And again, our 100-day exponential moving average is supporting us, and MACD and momentum both are looking good. Dow Jones Industrial Average was down 1.22% yesterday. Today it's up 0.41%. Trying to regain some of the lost ground, but it is still under the 100-day exponential moving average. So we need to convert that. The MACD is looking bullish, but momentum is pointed downwards. So because it's above average, I'm still optimistic. And because pre-market action is positive, I'm optimistic that we're going to open green. When it comes to VIX, you can see that it's at 2.30% today. It's down 2.30% from where it closed yesterday. Yesterday was a bearish hammer. And today we are being supported by the 9-day exponential moving average. I don't think the momentum is looking great, so I would expect VIX to fall further and try to test 22.73, which is our support level out here. And that will in turn help the markets. If you look at put call ratio, yesterday we had left it at neutral to slightly bullish. Today it is looking neutral to slightly bearish. That's where the PCC is at. And if we look at XLY by XLP, yesterday we had more risk on sentiment. Let us hope that the sentiment persists for today. And if we look at US dollar index, we have opened up higher, and then we were pushed down by the 20-day exponential moving average and the 9-day exponential moving average. And we have fallen down back into yesterday's upper range. We need to go down further, and with the Bank of England increasing the interest rate, I'm thinking that there'll be a little bit of a drop in the US dollar index out here. With that said, I want to go and have a look at some of the big movers of the index. The first one I'm going to look at, as usual, is going to be Amazon. Amazon is continuing to make efforts to cover the gap that it has here. I think it has already covered the gap. It now needs to break over the 200-day exponential moving average. But unfortunately for us, we have a situation where Amazon has jumped in an unorganized manner, and it has left a huge gap in here. So sooner rather than later, we'll have to fill this gap and then move back up. So there is going to be a downward bias, but since pre-market operations are looking positive, 0.78, I think this gap will be filled up sometime later. Now let's go and have a look at Apple. Apple is up 0.74% pre-market, and it's trying to get back into the range that it was trading in yesterday. So it's looking good to me. However, the momentum is a bit weak, even though MACD is bullish. We need the momentum to pick up. But nevertheless, Apple is going to open positive. Microsoft was down 1.15% yesterday, and it's up 0.39% today. I was a bit concerned about Microsoft. I still am, because the momentum is pointing downwards, but momentum is still above average and MACD is bullish. So I'm hopeful that Microsoft will try to regain its previous levels as of yesterday and try to move up beyond the 200-day exponential moving average. It has to cross the 200-day exponential moving average, and the 100-day exponential moving average needs to go down below the 50-day exponential moving average. And then we can say that Microsoft is strongly in a bullish track, because Microsoft spent a good time consolidating. Now let's look at Google. Google is also showing a positive opening. And with that said, I want to go and have a look at our genomic stocks. And when we look at genomic stock, I'm just going to sort them out to make sure I have the winners at the top. The winner from yesterday was SQZ Biotech, and SQZ is going to report earnings today. I'll check it after this video. And we were positive yesterday, and today pre-market there are no trades. PACB was up 8.5% yesterday, pre-market no trades. Bluebird was up 8% yesterday, and today pre-market it's up 5.19%, and it reports on the 4th. Verb was up 4.6 yesterday, and no trades pre-market. DNA was up 4.53% yesterday, and today it's up 1.67%. That's a good move. Invitae is also up 1.53% yesterday, today pre-market, after going up 4% yesterday. Strong move by Invitae. Editas was up 4% yesterday. It's up 0.42% today. Allogene was up 3.22% yesterday. No pre-market trades for Allogene today. CRISPR was up 3.15% yesterday, and today pre-market it's up 3.35%. A very strong move, getting back into the bullish pennant. That's a good move. ArcG was up 2.28% yesterday. It's again up 1.61% pre-market. Intelia was up 2.10% yesterday. It's again up 14.77% pre-market, and it's expecting to report on the 4th. Illumina was up 1.64% yesterday. No trades pre-market today. IDNA was up 1.57%. This is a genomic and healthcare ETF, and it's got no pre-market trades today. Beam was up 0.51% yesterday, and no pre-market trades for Beam today. Teladoc was up 0.30% yesterday, and it has got a pre-market growth of 1.57% today, and it's gone above the horizontal line of support that we have here. And if we look at IMTX, it was flat yesterday, and there are no trades pre-market today. It's in the bullish pennant. We are expecting it to break out on the upper side. Caribou Biosciences was down minus 0.12% yesterday. It's up 4.87% today. Regeneron was down 0.30% yesterday. It's up 2.09% today. And if we look at Novartis, it was down 0.62% yesterday. It's down minus 0.1% today. Pfizer was down minus 1.82% yesterday. It's up 0.32% today. So overall, I think genomic sector is going to open green today. That brings me to the end of our video today. I hope you enjoyed this. Please do not forget to join me at 3:30 p.m. for our live stream, where we do a quick roundup of the activities that have happened during the day. And then at around 4 p.m., I do a technical analysis on all the genomic stocks with an idea of looking at what happened during the day and what's going to happen tomorrow. I also take question and answers and do some quick technical analysis on tickers of your choice, whether they are in the genomic index or not. We do have a good time out there. I would encourage you to join us out there. And again, if you like this video, please don't hesitate to press a like out there. It will mean a lot to me because I put a lot of efforts into these videos, and it will help us to grow this channel. And if you have not yet subscribed, please subscribe and help us grow this channel. And if you have any pointers on how we can improve the quality of this channel, please put it in the comments, and I'll definitely make sure that I incorporate those ideas going forward. Thanks and have a great day. Bye for now.